All right, everyone. We've got a special guest tonight, Carson from Pure Graded X. I've been speaking to Carson for a little bit now, picking his brain about grading cards, and I've got my you can see in my it's the camera sideways, but I've got my first submission came in. I'm extremely happy. So Carson, you were telling me just now about you're changing the slabs around.
Yeah. So a lot of people have heard Burbank, the code Burbank on our website. They got some slabs that actually were able to pop loose. We don't know if that was a just oversight or what, but we are invested in a couple different size slabs, and we wanted mainly we were already doing this anyway, but one we want to see which ones are the most durable because it's important to us to protect the cards that are in them. And two, we wanted to go with a crystal clear look um, that basically will make the holographic labels that we use. I brought some too. I don't know. I don't think you had any of these in your order, but we do have like a parallel match on our labels. This is a cracked dice. We got mosaic, disco. Yeah, you name it. We got it, and we're looking for more. We want to be able to eventually offer to perfectly match your card. We don't do it every time right now, because you have to, we load up so many labels on each page, and so every once in a while we're throwing one in there right now for people, and we're going to offer in the future to be able to, be able to perfectly match your parallel. But we are doing it for a lot of the labels now. We're just throwing a couple in their order so people can, see that option is available, and then reach out to us and be like on the next one, be like, hey, I want this, 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 and this. So yeah, we're continually trying to keep our look modern and up to date. The sports card market and just markets in general change. We're living in a social media world. We have been for a long time,
Right.
and people want what's hot right then and right now. You can kind of tell that's how it is with the card prices and trends and those in general too. Is that especially last year, but then I've seen a couple videos today where it's like cards from yesterday, players that got hot, that flying off the shelves, and so we kind of are trying to treat our approach of Pure Graded X like that too. Is that as the hobby evolves, as the customer or the people that are in the hobby evolve, we want to continually step our game up or up our game to offer an even better experience when grading or when holding one of our slabs in your hand.
But the thing is, look, the slab that you sent me, it looks and feels a lot like a PSA. I hate to that's like a curse word in the house here,
Right.
but it does. It feels. I mean, if you take the label out, I mean, it does feel like it's the same. I'm okay with that. It's thin. It's compared to a thicker BGS, like a Beckett, the thick one. I
Mm-hmm.
think I like this, but you're saying that we're going with a more thicker slab.
Well, no, we are our next evolution is just going to be removing the frosting around the edge around the card.
Okay.
So how a BGS or an HGA is crystal clear, like from top to bottom of the slab, it's basically going to be, and I'll just say it's going to be a PSA slab with crystal clear plastic all the way from top to bottom. So uh, the the frosting look is kind of I don't know, would say dated to me. I think the clear look looks good on the CSG. I've bought a couple of those because I've heard how theirs is. I actually had one of our customers send me one because we hadn't sent one to the current plastic company that we're working with,
Okay.
because we want them to take it apart, and we think that they have a really good looking slab. And we're testing one that's basically similar to that. Um, with a small label. So it's going to look similar to a CSG slab. Have that to me is the clearest slab. I actually have one right here that I'm holding, and what we're trying to do is to recreate this with a smaller a smaller size label than
Right.
what they have, a normal size label. And what that does is it basically we have to get a new like equipment for our machines, mold, all that stuff, because when you shrink down this label here, it actually makes this slab shorter than most. So it'd probably be like how BGS slabs are with
Wow.
that. But we haven't went that route. We're sticking with this. It's just this. There's like a frosted edge around the edge here, and it's going to be crystal clear. The whole slab will be so like we really think that the holographic labels will just they'll
That's
pop
gonna
out.
make it look pop. You know,
Yeah,
Mary, my wife, she when we looked at all the slabs, we put them down, you know, on the bed there. We were looking at them, and she was attracted to the clear slab, and I can
yeah,
see it has that clean, modern look. Now I can't imagine how it's gonna look with a nice label, a PGX
mm-hmm.
label that pops with that nice finish to it. That's gonna look phenomenal.
Yeah. So along those lines, I mean, like our newer slabs. Like originally, we weren't going to have subgrades on our slabs, and lo and behold, we started letting people talk us into it, and we have since removed subgrades from our slabs. You will still be able to get them in an email if you want. We'll even give you the grading notes on the cards as well.
Okay.
Uh, why a certain card got a certain subgrade? I mean, like I just did one today with the guy, and or maybe it was last night, but basically, if a card looks clean in the top loader here like this, and we pull it out or put it under a microscope or put it on, scan it and put it on our software, and we see like there's a crease in it or something, that'd be something that we notify, because it's like, you get a card without a subgrade, and you're like, well, why did this card that looks, I mean, it looks good in this slab, why did it get
Right.
a 7? And it's because, well, there was a small crease, and basically a crease in the surface of the card is going to bring your grade down to like 6. And we still grade off of using a subgrade system. One thing that your wife had said, is there's a lot going on. It was making our turnaround times tough, because we were having to adjust with a full art holographic label. The label on the screen is not holographic, right? We're looking at it on a 30-something inch curved monitor
Right.
when we're designing them, and then when they print, they don't always read as clear as they do on the computer screen. So to improve our turnaround times, to have a cleaner looking label with the color match and pop that our labels have, we decided to move in that direction, and we're already putting out being able to put out a lot more labels to seal and ship each day, just in the week to 10 days. And I can't remember, we sent yours about 10 or 12 days ago. Maybe we shipped it maybe 10 days or 7 days ago. You're one of the first ones that actually got we went to that with, and it was only one or two of your cards, I think, because the rest of them were art. So,
I
but yeah,
gotcha.
yeah.
It,
So
I like the subgrades, but after on the card, but on the slab, should I say? But after that explanation, I understand that it's better the way with that you're moving to, because at the end of the day, we want our cards back fast. We want an honest grade. We want consistency with our grading, and we want the cards back fast. And
absolutely.
it sounds like we're not gonna the customer, the end user is gonna benefit from this.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's our plan, is for you to be able to submit your cards and get them back, within a reasonable amount of time. And to me, a reasonable amount of time is, at the most, if you're submitting 100 cards, you need to be able to get it back in a couple months, because when you get it back, it's going to take you that to list, to sell, to get another order ready if you're doing 100 card bulk orders. But to get those, be able to return the 20 card orders in 30 to 45 days, and to be able to return the 1 to 5 card orders in 30 days or less is kind of like our goal with this. In the start, we had some obstacles to overcome when we got started as well. We had our press machine had all of its stuff stolen off of it while it was sitting in customs to sit there for 2 weeks for some reason, and it got here, didn't have a mold, didn't have the horn, and we had another delay. So like people that like you and some other people that ordered from us back then are just now getting their cards back. But what we tried to do is try to send them out and order from there, but work on the orders that have been coming in too. So we're almost to a point right now where we're basically going to be able to send back orders quickly and hit the timelines that are on the website, all the new people, all those things. On the Quest orders, we have like 3 left to ship, and they're all right under 21 total days. We got rid of the business days thing on our website because, dude, it was like, it didn't matter. People, we had business days up there, and people are still at, it says 45 business days, and people are still at, day 43. Have you shipped my cards? What are you talking about, man? So we just took that down, and we took some hits on it. We usually try to send we send out a free SP slab. This is actually one of them that we're about to send back with one of the last Quest orders that is here. If people don't know what Quest is, basically we have a program with another YouTuber, and it's like $12 a card football card submissions all season long, and we did a ton of those, and we're basically about 1 order graded away from sending them all back, which I think our last order was received on that on August 28th or September 2nd. So 21 days, we've hit it on almost every person. I think there was 1 or 2 that we asked like a day or 2 after we launched for people to write Quest on the outside of their box when they ship it, so that when it gets here, it's processed into, hey, this is stuff that has to be turned around in 21 days. And I think we started that system a couple days late, and we missed on a few, but most of the time, we were able to hit it, and we're getting our normal turnaround days down from like what we had 75 to 80 days because of the holdup we had in the beginning, to now being able to get the orders and get them back close to the top.
So it's, I mean, obviously with like any new business, there's challenges, and you've mentioned already, you got the press without parts, missing the mold or what have you. Was that the biggest issue you faced so far?
Absolutely, I guess. I don't know. I mean, like, that was a tough one. Let me tell you, that was a tough one. We got the machine after we've been waiting for it. It's supposed to be delivered like June 10th or June 7th, and it arrived on June 25th or 6th. And the 2 parts that basically press, you set the slab down on there,
Yeah,
and then the other part drops on it. Well, those 2 parts of the sandwich were the parts that were selling off of our press while it was in customs. And dude, like, I mean, like, it was like we had tried like several other different things that and it was like there's nothing else really that does it. Let me just tell you. So yeah, that was a tough one. And then you're just sitting here waiting for it to get here, and then when it got here, yeah, it was a long, probably about 6 weeks of going through that. So yeah, that was pretty tough. I mean, we had to deal with the Burbank deal where we got a new box of slabs and started sealing them, and they were like, man, these things look cleaner than they've ever looked before. And it wasn't, the top right corner of them was popping. And I don't know if you've seen that video of Burbank sports cards, but basically, that was a pretty big hit too, because I was at the river with my family that day whenever they dropped that video. And it's something where we had already talked to the customer. The customer alerted us about it happening, and we had another customer that we sent slabs to that day that actually, the same day, actually had already sent his back and told us, hey, there's I had 2 slabs where I could stick this top corner, and pull it, start to pull it apart. And we had a 100 car bulk order that went out, and there was a couple in there that were, and it happened to be the ones that the guy sold like half his order to, or girl sold half her order to Burbank. And yeah, man, just that video, man, I swear, I got back from the river. I was with my family, didn't have cell phone service where we were, and Thomas was here by himself, and I had like 20 missed calls from him, and like probably about 150 to 200 people I'd never even met before tagging me in posts on Instagram. So it was
Oh,
kind of nuts, man. So yeah, we had it, but in that we put out a test our slabs order. We just started receiving some of those submissions today, and we've actually started. They're all 5 cards or less, so we've actually started grading and designing those kind of in with the stuff. We've hired a couple new designers. We've got some people that are typesetting and checking over all of our labels and input. Uh, because we want we want to be able to if there is an issue, which there's always going to be, dude. It's a business. It's not fairy tale. If this is a fairy tale, uh, the princess would be up here and we'd just be sitting there, looking at the sunset, like, oh yeah, best damn grading company there is. But instead, we have to deal with real life issues, and yeah, sometimes it's tough, but dude, always willing up for a challenge, and yeah, man, nothing that you know you can't do that you can't improve on. So yeah, we're
absolutely.
always learning and getting better.
Look, I completely understand. My job, I work with a company that's been around for a very long time, very well known company. And today, literally today, I was off all last week. I go back into work today, and I have a crew that went to install some equipment on a roof of a building, and they brand new roof, 2 months old, 2 months old, and they punched a hole in the roof. Okay,
Oh,
yeah. So yeah, that is the cost of business.
yeah,
That is just I it's mud on the face, absolutely. And but the thing is, it's coordinating with the landlord and saying, "Don't worry, whatever it is, we're gonna make it right. We're gonna fix
yeah,
it." And then training the employees on not doing that. Doing different things to prevent that from happening again. And that's just how it is. And people need to understand that.
yeah.
So I've got to ask before we run out of time. So what made you want to start a grading company?
Well, I always I was a professional golfer, like not I wasn't on the PGA Tour. I played the mini tours after college. Um, always played fantasy football. I collected cards off and on throughout my life. I mean, like I mean, obviously there's been times where I didn't really, I walked by all the prison boxes for a couple years and wish I would have just grabbed them. But but yeah, my son, he's like 14 now, and since he was probably 7 years old, every time we go to Walmart, I'd get him a box of Pokemon cards, or we'd buy a box of basketball or football and open them together. And he was kind of into it back then, and then sometimes he'd bring the box back and he wouldn't open it for 2 years. I mean, like, so
Wow.
what in August of 2019, I got out of real estate in 2018. COVID came about as I was about to start a new job, and I was going to be a tournament director for charity golf tournaments for this company. And basically, COVID started. There was no charity golf tournaments for a year or so. So the job got put on hold, and I was here with my family for 6 months. And basically, my son came to me one day. I was like selling random stuff on eBay just to make ends meet while I was looking for a job. He's like, man, I know you really like cards because you're the one that got me into it. uh, you should look into it, because I watch a lot of YouTube stuff. So I started watching YouTube videos about it, all that stuff, and just kind of the spark, that was always there, kind of lit on fire. And We had pulled a Luka Doncic red, white, blue Prism rookie out of a cello pack. Bought one cello pack of 2018 Prism. I don't think we bought anything else. We pulled Luka red, white, blue, and we
Damn.
sold it. And that's kind of how it started. I fell in love with buying cards to get graded. Like I could see the investing side of it. The only thing I hated doing though was like, selling off some of the stuff that I really wanted to keep. I was really big into Kobe, LeBron, and Jordan, and I still have hundreds. I probably 1,000 of the between the three. I don't have any of the rookies. Like I seen your '86 Flair HGA, man. That was super nice. But
Thanks, man.
I have hundreds of them. I buy like the high eye appeal. That was always my thing. High eye appeal inserts and base cards or subsets, whatever. I bought stuff in like I would take Michael Jordan and buy him in Kobe's rookie year, his '96 cards, because I know those boxes are always going to be.
Oh,
There's not any more tins out there raw on eBay or in people's collections hardly. I mean, I grade. We You haven't probably seen a lot of our Jordans that we've graded on the market. There's not probably been 10 or 15 of them on eBay. But dude, we've sent back hundreds of Jordan cards for people, and they just keep them. But there are not very many tins. There are very few tins, and like I know that from buying on eBay and submitting them for grading. I mean, like it was, if I submitted 20 or 30 of them, I might get 4 or 5 tins, and I was really hard at going, not really, but I got better over the year, over the time. But I was pretty tough on looking them over, making sure that the
right.
corners looked sharp and that there wasn't anything crazy. But yeah, from that and not getting a bunch of tins, I started like just researching all about how grading works, and I went to GMA and asked them if they would do like a color match label or anything, and they said they didn't have it in their plans. And so I started trying to grade with HGA when they came out. I wrote a business plan for this back in November, December of 2019, and HGA dropped and kind of knocked the wind out of my sails. And so I started trying to grade with them. Could never get in. Then tried to do SGC and just didn't see like paying $35. It was $35 a card at the time, and it was going to be for a 30 card order. It was going to be $965.
It's crazy.
Dude, I was like, this is nuts, man. Like, I can't even imagine how much at the time. I didn't know how much all this costs and everything were, but like, dude, the markup on that is insane, and it was just nuts. And so I had an order that I was about to submit with them, decided not to, decided to go try to start submitting some cards to PSA, like 10 a month. So in like 2 years, I can start getting some back, right?
Right.
And dude, I had an order in there, never even got to submit an order with PSA. I had an order in there, and they like eliminated it all, and their price went to like 300. So it's like, yeah, it's just done. And about that same time, I met Thomas, and I was making custom labels for my GMA slabs, stickers to put on the front of the slabs, just whatever grade they had on them. I was like color matching them poorly because I'm not an artist, I mean, I got like a decent like eye for style and stuff that looks good, but like, that Thomas, we were friends, I guess, through YouTube. That's how I met he had a channel and I did. We started chatting. He's like, man, what are you doing with these GMA man things? Let me try some of these. I'm actually an artist, and yeah, it just kind of evolved from there, man. And into it's been awesome. But yeah, I love the whole like making a card, like improving the look and value of the card is kind of like my mindset. I mean, like I always wanted to do that in real estate. Like, there wasn't enough time in the day to go out and list houses and stage them all and do all that. But that's kind of like what I built a team around when I was doing that, was like finding people that could learn that and have that eye, and that's kind of what like we've been looking for here. We've hired a few people, to do some of the different stuff, but like finding people that you not necessarily have to be an artist, but you're trainable and like excited to do it. And I think like people that actually come and work there with us will be super successful at doing it. This type of stuff. And right now, I know the value of resales is all PSA, and everybody talks about PSA this, PSA that, and all that kind of stuff, man. But like, dude, I'm telling you that some of the cards that we've sent back to people, it's just like when you hold it next, or I don't ever hold them because I sold all my PSA cards. I don't have any.
Wow.
Yeah, so when you hold it next to like another slab, it's like, dude, like, and it's not just us. I mean, there's other companies out there that are doing, similar stuff or, better, but like in, investing that kind of value for the look, like, sure, there's a big market right now for people that follow the graphs and the charts and stuff for cards, but, long term for the hobby, I've been in it 3 or 4 different times, and, long term, it's about the people that collect, and like, so you guys maybe the people are flipping back and forth, and I don't want our values to go through the roof so that people can't, collectors can't afford to get
No, of course not, right?
But it's like at the end of the day, man, at some point there's going to be a shift of everybody that gets one of our slabs in their hand, they're like, man, this is amazing, like. People say that all the time.
No, it really is. I don't know if you can see, but this is the Jackie Robinson that you graded for me, and I absolutely love it. And I feel, because I've heard people say, oh, PGX, it won't, vintage won't look good in a PGX slab, but I beg to differ. This is the 1954 Jackie Robinson, and it's a classic card, but I haven't made any videos really on all of these. I'm planning on doing that probably starting tomorrow, but so that way people can get a really good look at this. But it's a beautiful looking card, and when I have this out on display, that's what I want. I want to have a card that's eye appealing. I don't want to, this is special to me. I don't want a card that looks plain. So, okay. So I want to ask, because we're running out of time, but I really need to ask this.
We're okay. Yeah, we're okay on top.
All right. So see the secret or tips before submitting. If you could give, because you've seen it all now, you've seen X amount of cards come across your desk there. What kind of advice would you give to the average submitter?
Yeah, so if you're a first-time submitter, or if you've been submitting and you just want to get better grades, like, just pull a card out right here and just kind of show you. Basically, I have a lamp like right here.
Okay.
And this is an easy trick to do this. I wrote a blog about it, and I was getting hammered by people who thought they've been doing this for 25 years and that can't be how you do it. But I actually have spoken to people that graded at all the other companies, and there's a lot of cards that are looked at each day, and in order to do that, you're not always like digging down into the surface. I know a lot of people, when they think they're going to get better at grading, they're going to go get a loupe or a microscope or anything.
Yeah.
But I just take the card. You can't even see the card here. There we go. So just a card like this right here, and the lamp's over here. But I'm just going to angle the card towards me and hold it under my light bulb here. And I use a daylight. It's like 5,000 K luminous, really bright.
Okay.
But when you're not gonna be able to see this. Sorry, I don't know if I can.
No, you're cool. You're cool. But I get you use the glare from the light.
Yeah, the glare is going to point out the surface problem. So you're just gonna see like this card right here. There's a spot right here on his face, and it's a very small spot. So it's like it's probably a 9.5 surface. Like I don't see anything else. We put it. We usually have a microscope out here, or we scan it into the software. If we see a lot of stuff going on, we'll scan it in and we'll look at it, blow it up, look at it, whatever, see what it is. But if you're grading thousands of modern cards, you need to be able to point these things out. So if you're buying cards raw on eBay or this is your first time grading, you need to take the card and you want to look at the corners. Is there any? Are they 90-degree angles?
Hmm.
I mean, that's a huge thing. Is that like this one here is a little, not perfect, but they're pretty solid. But this bottom right one here is kind of winged out.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah. Okay.
that's going to be a deduction right there. If it's showing white on the corners, automatically we're deducting a point from our corner subgrade or whatever. And then you start mixing in soft corners and white corners and stuff like that on modern cards. And if you're seeing those kind of things and you're, buying cards to submit to grading, you're probably better off moving those and trying using that money to pay for the other cards that you're getting graded, or to buy your next the next cards that you want to get graded. If you're a personal collector, um, you may not care. I mean, I hear that a lot. I don't care what grades it gets. I just want to get it in a protective case
Right.
and a free holder.
That's how I feel. My Jackie Robinson,
Yeah,
you gave me a 2, and I'm ecstatic.
yeah. And I've been told on Instagram by several people that I should have gave it a higher grade.
The Jackie?
Yeah, that the Jackie Rob and I know what you had on it yourself too. It was like a 2 or 2.5 on. I can't remember what you had on, but I actually been told that that pin mark should make the surface a 3, and if the other subgrades were high enough, it could actually be a 4 with the pin mark on there. And that's from people that either know it all, and I don't know that they really do know it all, but from people that know it all, or from people that I do a lot of research into not just grading, but the hobby and stuff. And I have a kind of a mentor of vintage grading that's helping me to learn about all the sets and just the different ways and things that different card companies or different grading companies don't deduct for and stuff like that on the vintage cards. But yeah, I've looked too on and seen, and you might have could have we might have could have gave a little bit better grade, but it's pretty close anyway. I mean,
Right. No,
yeah,
I gave the Jackie a 2, if I remember right, or 2.5. I can't recall. I would have to go back and
yeah,
look, but I do remember researching it and comparing it, because I'm like, I don't know. I've never really seen a card with a pen mark like that. So I went and I tried to find some comparables. Real estate little word there. So, I was like, this, from what I found, to me, this should come in at a 2. Again, I am not a professional,
yeah, for
and
sure.
it came in at a 2. So again, and I'm not gonna sell that card again. I
Yeah.
just wanted to look nice.
Boy, yeah, I had somebody messaging me wanting me to make you a offer on it. He's like, I know if he wants to sell that. I want that. I want that one. I want that card in my collection. Yeah, for sure.
That's right. I
Yeah.
forgot. That's right. You did.
Yeah, right. That was like right. I was like, hey man, I don't know if you're on Instagram because I talked to you on text and on YouTube, but I didn't see you on Instagram much. I'm like, I posted the picture of the card we're about to ship you, and we got people wanting to buy it. So he's like, no, I'm not selling that one.
No, no, no,
But
definitely not. Definitely not. All right, so just I'm just out of curiosity, I wanted to ask, because I've seen a lot of videos where people are submitting to other companies, other card grading companies, and they're getting grades that are not consistent. I've seen a few videos where people are getting 4s, 5s, 6s, and 7s, and they'll crack the case and submit to another company, and they'll get 8s and 9s. Um, I We can argue about why that is, but my question is, what is PGX doing to have consistency? Because I think at the end of the day, collectors like myself, that's what we really care about.
so we've had people that have been wondering why we don't have a condition report on our website, and this is all going to tie in together. We're writing 2 condition reports. We're writing one for modern cards and we're writing one for vintage cards, and we're it's going to be probably two more weeks before we get it out there. because the guy that's helping us with the vintage is grading with us. He won't be back here until then. Um, but how we're going to stay consistent with that is basically one, we have a database when we get new cards from different sets. We scan in a lot of the cards that we know it's like, hey, this is the first couple cards from the set. We're gonna scan them in and see how that they stack up against each other over time. We keep a running record of that files in our uh, database system, and kind of how we grade each one. We have several that are not marked with the cards aren't marked, but the scans are marked. Kind of this is how many points we deducted for this, and this. This is our centering allowance. When I thought maybe I have. You get the centering tool off of eBay or Amazon.
Oh yeah,
get one
yeah.
of those. You know, we can measure it online, or you can measure with that up on a software. Doesn't really matter. It's just keeping consistent with. We don't really on modern, like, so the biggest confusion I think with most grading companies' websites is like, they have a grading scale or system was written for vintage cards back in the 90s or early 2000s. And, on a 9 on a PSA's website, it says they allow like 85, 15 centering on the back centering. Dude, how many times have you watched a video or read comments and it's like, bro, the back centering on that John Morant is like, it's like 6, it's PSA 9. And so we can't, like, the reason we haven't put that put out our total thing is because, like, we want to build consistency within our company and how we grade before we're actually putting it out there to the world that this is how this is how it's going to be. And because once people put that condition report on their website, I don't know that it's ever changed on anyone's website, and I don't know that any of them are really that different, except for they use different adjectives to describe the same thing. It's like a perfect 10, a flawless 10. At our company, it's a pure gem. Everybody rewrites each other's thing, and so what I didn't want to do was just put out what everybody else did and expect that's what you go by, when that might not be exactly how I grade, or the people that I've hired to grade for our company, how they're grading the cards. I want you to be able to submit cards to Pure Graded X and get better grades, and a lot of people want those subgrades so that they know, they want to know this is why. But like, dude, why do you get that subgrade? Like, like, you still don't know. Like, there's probably cards in your return right now where you're like, what happened here? And so on those, like, so, dude, I can tell, anybody that is grading cards can tell when a card's submitted and like 3 of the subgrades are like, the boom, it's got perfect centering, there's no white corners, the edges aren't chipping, but what is this? Oh shoot, there's like a crease going across the top in like a dark area where until it was pulled out of the top loader and penny sleeve, dude, that would have never been seen. So
Right.
like, I've cracked cards out of graded card cases that have, I look at them and I'm like, oh, yep, I see, I see what they did here. They just, they measured it, wrote a grade down, and threw it in the pile to get slabbed.
Right.
But
So
it happens. It's gonna happen with our company too, dude. I mean, I've had cards that I didn't want to ship out. I wanted to crack out of the case before. I'm like, oh man, dude, I missed something on this card, And at that point, dude, if you did that on every single one and reevaluated yourself, like, dude, you'd never ship cards out.
Right.
It's like, you're giving an opinion, and a lot of people think with all the new grading companies that are coming out that, how is your opinion an expert opinion? And it's like, well, I did this for a while myself. I was in your shoes. I submitted cards, got them graded. I wasn't happy with how that was going, and I wanted to, try to do it myself. And so with that, man, I'm the type of person that is not just going to start something and I'm going to do this and go do it and it not be great. If I don't understand something, man, I'm not afraid to ask someone. I mean, when we first got our press machine, I messaged this guy at RCG, Revolution Card Grading. You ever heard of them?
No.
I messaged the owner of that, and I was like, "Hey, man, uh, can you help me, you know, make sure that our press gets set up correctly? Because that, we had spoken, we came out about the same time, and his name's Dave, and I was like, hey, man, I just want to let you know, I think y'all slabs are great, and if you ever need anything to reach out." He's like, "You too, man. We should all be on the same side here. We're basically doing the same thing."
And he helped you?
And so when we got our press machine after 6 months or 6.5 weeks of me waiting for all the parts to get here, uh, we got it. And I was like, "Hey, man, this is happening on the press machine. I really need you to like tell me what to do." He's like, "Oh, just lower the pressure a little bit." Like, he's like, I was like, "Dude, man," like that's the cool thing about you know some of the newer companies is that we're in this together. We're in this
That's
for the
cool.
hobby, and yeah, we're helping each other out. So, um, as far as grading goes, I'm looking at how every other company has graded, getting cards out quickly. Like, I really delved into SGC because, man, they returning those modern cards quickly, and I see, I go and look and see what they're giving out for their 9.5s and their 10s, and I'm looking at PSAs. I'm looking at all the companies' cards because I want it doesn't matter who grades the hardest or who grades the best. It matters that all grading companies start to become on the same page of what a certain grade
Right.
is. And that's going to
Exactly.
help the consumer understand why they get certain grades, what to look for. And man, like I was telling you, like, if you get a new card here and that's not even a good one, but like here, this one, it got a 10. Well, it doesn't have, you know, I can't even hardly see it, but you got, if you don't have good centering on a new card, you shouldn't send a modern card that's not a huge big card that you're wanting to, you might resell one of these days. If it doesn't have good centering, you're better off just selling something like that raw because,
Yeah.
dude, 8.5 centering with the print quality that a lot of the new cards have, which why they printed select with black edges on their premiere, and I guess it's not their premiere anymore because they got it retail now, but every year prior, I think, or most years, they had like the black that gradients out to the white edges, and now the black, dude, it's like if you end up with one of those surfaces that doesn't have the little pits all in it or the print lines all over the front, then on the back, you're got all white corners and jagged edges and all that stuff, and it really shows up when you have a black border edge. So
Right.
those are the kind of things that you can look for and spot when you're submitting and be like, okay, I don't want to submit this card. Marble cards, like, you can, I know you submitted quite a few of the marble cards, like those the X Force. Um,
The
my
Deadpool.
son
I.
watched Deadpool. Yeah, my son watches cartoon beatbox battles, and Deadpool is a regular on there.
Yeah.
But that is one of, like, so I don't think comic book cards have totally hit their like overall peak whenever people get into it so much that they start learning about which cards are the hardest to find in tins and really start going after those. That Deadpool card is one of them that the price is already kind of elevated on the tins, but dude, there's just people went and bought all the boxes of the '90s Marvel stuff back in the spring when the prices really boomed. Prices all kind of went back down because everybody submitted their cards to graded and then flooded the market. But like, dude, 1990 Impel, if you could go find a Black Panther on eBay right now that in the picture looks like have 10 centering, dude, it'd be a miracle. Like, I've been trying to find a Black Panther from that 90 Impel set, and every one of them looks like they have 8.5 or worse centering. So, like,
Yeah, it's so
you know,
bad.
yeah. But these are the kind of things that, will help people when they're submitting is that, the difference in a card like you just showed in a 10 that's thousands of dollars and an 8 that, doesn't sell for near that much if you're, investing in cards or flipping some of them to pay for your collection. I mean, That's what I would do if I was if I was still in it right now. I would just be paying for my collection because dude, there's so many cards that I don't want to get rid of this card. It's way too cool.
Heck
But
yeah.
I also, if I'm just a normal collector and have another job, how am I going to keep my wife off my butt?
Yup.
Buying $1,000 cards or going and ripping, walking into a Walmart with my wife and there's 50 select megas sitting there and they don't have a limit. And I'm like, oh, hey babe, yeah, like I promise I'm gonna sell some of these. No, you got 700 slabs sitting in here. What do you mean you're gonna sell some of them? But dude, like you submitted two of those X Force Deadpools,
Mhm.
and if you had, if you were submitting, two of each card that you had, like, if you're a personal collector, a great way to pay for your submission would be if you're going to do a 20 card submission. A 20 card submission is like 260 to 300 somewhere there. That our company is like $13 a card, and you took 5 cards in that 20 card submission and devoted them to resell. You could pay for your entire submission buying $10 to $20 raw cards with just 5 cards in that same price range. If you knew, hey, during the time I'm getting my personal collection together, I need to find 5 cards that are going to grade 10 that are similar in price to the ones that I want to keep because, if I can get these $15 to $20 cards and they can grade a 10, they're going to sell for $100 and it's basically going to cost me, if that
Right.
was my price range deal. And if you're buying raw Marvel cards, most of those cards, even in good condition, the Black Panthers that look like they might have a chance at a 10, you can pick them up on auction for like $15 ending. I mean, the ones that the people that own them know they're Gem Mint 10s are $50 to $100 raw. But like when they go up on auction, it's only the people that know that are in the know about something like that. The Black Panther card in that set's always off center, um,
Right.
or most of the time is. Not always. Most of the time he is, or maybe somebody trimmed it if it's not. If it's not, it's probably trimmed. But
Well, okay. Speaking of that, um, okay, I promise. Last question, but I have to ask
no,
this:
you're good, man.
have you come across any trimmed or any fake cards? People trying to pull a quick one, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Um, we've we've had some quite a bit of Pokemon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah, first edition Pokemon. Different. Um, just like random cards that um yeah, people. Yeah, sometimes people don't know. A lot of our the way we handle that is, hey man, our authentication department could, or our guy that authentic whatever, we say, you know, we sound all proper. Our authentication department was not able to authenticate your Pokemon card. If you would like to send in a card in replace of this Pokemon card, please do so. Then we'll send it back. But they do. I mean, like,
Stamp the
hey,
card with
hey,
fake. Get a rubber stamp that says
hey
fake.
man, this card balls like, but dude, like seriously, there could be ones that have slip passes. I mean, dude, technology, like I think with this is what I told another one of our customers who texted me the other day about the Fanatics deal, and like I haven't really heard this.